Hello friends, so in this video we are going to study about loops for loop and while loop in Python. Okay, so let's get started. So loops are basically used to do repeated tasks. Okay, so in any language, unlike it is not like in only in Python, we used to do this thing. In any language, loops are used. So loops are used to do repeated tasks. What does that mean? It means that if you want to execute a statement number of times, one way you one way to do that is you just put every statement you want to execute a number of times in number of lines. So, like if I want to execute a statement 100 times, so I will put it in 100 lines. So this is not an efficient way to do that, because until I have 20 or 50 lines, so I can write that. But if I have to write 1000 lines, I have to write 1 lakh lines. So this is not an efficient way to do that. Okay, so what we will do, we will just put the statement inside the loop and it will execute it multiple times for us. Okay, so this way we can use the efficient way to execute a statement multiple times. Okay, so this is the basic syntax. So basic syntax, what it says: for value in sequence, and then colon, and then indentation as per the Python syntax and statements. And the all the statements will be after this is indentation. Like if I write a number of statements here, so every will start below this statement line. Okay, not from here. If this starts from here, then it will be outside the for loop, so it will not be considered inside the for loop. Okay, so try to write, not try, write everything inside this, after this indentation inside the for loop. Okay, or in the while loop, right? So what does it mean? So for value in sequence is anything like in any iterator, like it can be a list, it can be a tuple, it can be a dictionary, it can be a string. Okay, so whatever it is iterator, that is a sequence. And the value in it will go through each iterator of the sequence one by one. So first, second, third, and the up till last. Okay, and then as per our statement, it will execute these statements. Okay, so this is the basic syntax, how it will work. Now this is our flow chart, how our for loop works. As you can see, initially it checks, as it enter inside the for loop, it checks last item is reached or not. If it is not reached, it has not reached the last item, so it will say no. Then it goes inside the body of for loop, execute all the statements, then again goes back to the loop statement. So it will again check if the last statement is reached or not. If it is not reached, then it will again go inside the body of for loop, and then again comes, it will be coming here until it reaches the last item of the sequence. Okay, when it reaches the last item of the sequence, so it will say yes, and then it will go out of the loop and exit the loop, right? So this way the loop works in Python or in any other language the same way. Okay, so this is the exact syntax of a for loop. So here I write for I in range, I in range 0 to n, and print I. So range, what is range here is, so range specifies three things. Okay, so first is where to start and when to stop, and third thing is how many steps does each loop has to take. Okay, so three things I have just specified, only two things here, because the by default step is one. Okay, so if I have not taken any step here after this n, so that means I have it is 1. Okay, so by default is 1, and if you want to specify any other thing than 1, then you put it there. Okay, in the range. So for I in range, 0 is the starting element, n is the ending element, and print I. So I is basically like when it goes inside this range with 0 to n, and it will iterate through each element. So initially it will go to 0, so I the value of I will be 0. Then it will go to 1, the value of I will be 1. Then it will go to 2, and the I value will be 2. Okay, so until n, so accordingly I will change. Okay, so this is the for loop. Then come For loop with else. So unlike any other language, in Python we get for loop with else statement. It is like when you end all the elements of a for loop, when for loop is executed completely, so it goes to the else statement and execute the statement inside the else. Okay. So what if I sometime do not want to execute the else statement? Okay, so it is not necessarily that you put else statement after false. It is after for loop. So it is basically dependent upon if you need it or not. If you need it, if you if you want to print all the elements of a list and then say when it goes outside the list, you need to say all elements are used. So if you feel a need of this, so just put it there, or if you do not feel, so just leave it. Okay, so if what happens if I use a break statement here, so if I use a break statement here, so it will not execute the else loop. Okay, so it will just go to the next statement of the else after the else loop. Okay, so it will come out of the complete loop. Next we come with the while loop. So the syntax is quite similar with the for loop of the while loop. The main difference is here that inside the while loop we check the condition each time if it is true or not. And it is basically we use while loop when we do not have the end condition when to stop. Okay, so we just put our ending condition there, so it will check, it will keep on executing until it is false. So until I is less than true is true, so it will keep on executing the loop, and when it goes false, so it comes outside the loop. Okay, so this is the working of while loop. Then comes two things here, so break and continue. So what is as I've discussed the break in the for with else statement. So what is break? So break is like when you want to break the loop in between. Okay, so you use break statement. So break statement, what it does, so as you wherever it puts break statement, so it will come out of the loop immediately outside the loop, so it will not execute the next iteration. It will just come out of the loop and execute the next statement after the for loop. Okay, and what does continue do? So continue is basically the is like if you have 10 statement inside the for loop and you have put continue somewhere in between, so what it does, all the statements after the continue statements will not be executed for that particular iteration, and it goes to the next iteration of the for or while loop. Okay, and execute will start executing again the loop. Okay, so break completely breaks the loop, but continue do not breaks the loop, it goes to the next iteration leaving all the elements after it. Okay, so this is the main difference between break and continue. So one thing here is how loops in Python works. Okay, so we'll discuss in while we are coding. Okay, so what happens if I use break in for else loop? So I have discussed this. What if I use break inside the for else loop? So just try it. Okay, and I will show in the code also. Okay, so let's do some coding. Okay, so let's start with the code. So first of all, like I just said, if I have to print my name like this way, okay. So what I will do is just simply put it again and again. Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control. Okay. This way I have put my name 6 times, right? So, but this is not an efficient way of doing this. If I have to put my name 100 times, so I will not be putting each line this way, right? So what I will do is I will just write the statement of loop. So for I in range, okay, so for I in range, and I have to put it 6 times, so I will put it 6 times, okay, and print my name. So the same thing will be done, but in an efficient way. Okay. So one thing I want to tell you that the index as the element start from 0 and goes up till 5, not until 6. So 0 to 5 are 6 elements, but it will not execute the sixth element here. So it will goes until n minus 1. So n is here 6 and 6 minus 1 is 5. So it will just execute until fifth index. So 0 to 5 are 6 elements. That why 6, not 6 because of the 6 written here. Okay. So keep clear on that. So as you can see, it has printed my name, and you can see the most efficient way is using the for loop. Okay, or you can use while loop. A while I can use the same thing with the while loop also. For a while I less than, initially let's put I equals to 0. Okay, I equals 0 initially, and then I will just say until I less than 6, and I will print my name like this, and keep on increasing the value of I. So I equal I plus 1. So let's see the same thing. It has printed my name 6 times. So the same thing can be done 3 ways, but the more efficient way is, I think, using a for loop here. Okay, and you can use a while loop also, but these are used in different conditions. When you know where to start, where to stop, then you can use for loop. When you don't know what will be the end condition, you just know when to end, but you do not know when exactly to end, how many iteration you need. So in that case, you can use while statement. When you exactly know how many iteration you need, you can use for loop. Okay. Another way of using a for loop is like, I have a list, let's say LST list, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like 9, 10 elements here. So what I can use for each in LST print each. So it will print all the elements of a list. As you can see, it has printed all the elements of a list. So what I have done is I have not put a range here. So inside, when you have any iterator like a list, a tuple, something like that, anything, any iterator, can be a string also. So you have to iterate. If you have to iterate through each element of a iterator, so the iterator is a list. So it will start from the first element and goes until the last element. So it will first go to the 1, then it goes to 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9, and print each put each element in each first, and then they print that particular element. Okay, so this is the way, this is the another way of using a for loop, and you can use any iterator here. Okay, this is not compulsory that you use list only. You can use a dictionary, you can use a tuple, you can use a string, or any other iterator. Okay, so this is the, I have just shown you how to use a for loop, a while loop, and a for loop with the iterator. Let's learn a little more about range. For I in a range 0 to 10, print I. Okay, so it will print all the elements up to 0 to 9, not 10. Okay, so 0 to 9, it is having 10 elements, but it will print from 0 to 9. It will not go to the stop element. Okay, stop element is here 10, and you can see each time it is taking a step of 1. So it is 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 2 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, like this. Okay, so what if I uh, increase the step? If I use 2, so I have used the step of 2. So it has taken each step with 2. So initially 0, then plus 2 is 2, then plus 2 is 4, then plus 2 is 6, then plus 2 is 8. Okay, so what if I let's say I have 20, and what if I use the step of 3 each? You can use any number of step. Okay, so it is initially 0, starting from 0, goes, and then plus 3 is 3, then plus 3 is 6, then plus 3 is 9, then plus 3 is 12, then 15, then 18, and then plus 3 is 21, and that is greater than 20. so it will not print that. Okay, because it will go until 19 only. So 21 is greater than 19, so it will not print that. Okay, so this way I can use a loop, and let's say I use 100 elements and I have to take a step of 5 each time. So it will print all the elements up until 0 to 99 and with a step of 5. So 0, 5, 10, 15, and this way. If you find like any application of using the step function, step element in the range function, so you can use that. Okay, so this way you can use. Okay, let's take a little example here also, like if I have to print all the even elements and odd elements in the from 0 until 100. Okay, so what I will do with the loop, so in range for I in range until 0 to 100, so I will use 101 for that, so because it will go to 100 only. Okay, so I will check if I percent 2, if the remainder, if any number is divisible by 2, so it will be even number. So if it is I percent 2 equals 0, then, and let's see, let's make a list here. So even, I will put all the elements inside the even elements inside the even list, and all the odd elements inside the odd list. Okay, okay, come here, let's come here. Okay, so I will just append the even element to the even list. So append I as odd dot append I. Okay, so if it is even number, so it will go to the even list, and if it is even odd number, it will go to the odd list. And let's print both of our list here. Print even and print odd. So let's see what we have got. Okay, so we got an error. Okay, so the error is this append. Let's run it now. Okay, as you can see, then the first list all the even elements until 0 to 100. Okay, and 100 included also. And the second list is containing all the odd number of elements, right? So this way, this is the just most common example of using for loops. Okay, uh, right. So this is it for this video, and hope you have understood for loops, and just try them in some other common examples. Okay, so hope you see in the next video. Okay, bye.